Freedom from mobs and kings.
Freedom from mobs and kings.
In 1776, Philadelphia had over 120 taverns, inns, and ordinaries, including the Crooked Billet, where Benjamin Franklin had his first meal when he came to the city, the Tun Tavern, where the first Marines were recruited, the City Tavern, where founding fathers were known to buy rounds for each other. There was the Pewter Platter, the Harp and Crown, the Indian King, Battle of the Kegs. Philadelphia at the time had a population of about 35,000 people, so per capita, that's an enormous number of bars. All of those taverns from the colonial era are gone now, except this one. This is a Man Full of Trouble. It was built in 1759. It's the last one standing. I'm here to have a drink with Tyler Putman. He's with the Museum of the American Revolution. He said, you can't overstate how important taverns were to the fight for American independence.
They're incredibly important. You know, this is the restaurant, the bar, the meeting house. If you want to read the latest newspapers, if you want to hear the local gossip and drama, the place you did that in Philadelphia was in taverns like this.
So the guys who were drinking in this bar at the time were probably dock workers, probably working class people. I wonder how much they would be invested in this idea of democracy, which is just an idea at this point.
I think everyday people in Philadelphia are incredibly invested, and that's because they live in a world of natural inequality. You know, if you're George Washington, you know exactly what the greatest elements of equality are, right? You've got plenty of money, you've got property, but if you're drinking in a bar like this and you're an enslaved person or an indentured servant or a sailor, you have a really personal sense of inequality, and that gives you a much better idea of the possibility of change.
One more bar I want to tell you about, and it used to be right here where the Museum of the American Revolution now stands. When they were building this, they found artifacts in the ground that were part of an illegal bar run by a woman named Mary Humphrey, and we know that because she was arrested for it. These are pieces of window that have been puzzled together. They've been etched by patrons of the bar. A phrase, we admire riches and are in love with idleness.
It comes from a really popular pamphlet series from the era of the Revolutionary War. And in that series, Cato, kind of the last noble citizen of the Roman Republic, is critiquing the downfall of Roman values, a critique of opulent British society, right? Someone reflecting in America on how Parliament and the British government have become corrupt.
So whoever wrote this may have been advocating for revolution, or they were just having a goof while drinking in a bar, and you can see people still do that in places like Tattooed Mom on South Street. Either way, what it does show is that the language of revolution had permeated all levels of Philadelphia society.